Today we're going to talk about composition of functions and combining functions, all right? Composition we're going to really get into on Monday. Today I guess we're just going to be talking about combining them, adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. So if you guys look, this is called sum, difference, products, and quotients. Sum, I forgot to screen. Okay, back to it. When I say sum, that means to add. What does difference mean to do? Subtract. When I say product, what are we talking about? Multiply. And when I say quotient, divide, okay? Now, you are going to be asked to add, subtract, multiply, and divide, and to talk about domain. So look at this, guys. When you have functions and it says to combine them, to add them, look, there's two ways to write it. They can tell you f plus g of x, meaning take the f function and the g function and add them together. Or they can say f of x plus g of x. All right? Their domain here is all real numbers, negative infinity to positive infinity, because when you're adding and we're all okay, everything's fine, you can plug in any number you want, you're good to go. That's cool. When you subtract, same thing. Your domain is negative infinity to positive infinity. You're good to go. You can plug in anything you want. When you subtract, you have to remember to distribute the negative sign. Multiplying, same thing. Your domain is negative infinity to positive infinity. You're good to go. Division. Why is there a domain restriction when you're dividing? Denominator cannot be what? What can the denominator of a fraction never be? It cannot be what number? There's one number in the whole world the denominator cannot be.
0?
It cannot be 0. So when you are dividing, you have to worry about your domain restrictions. You just got to be careful. Okay? You also have to be careful sometimes when there's a square root, because you can't take the square root of a negative number. So we'll talk about that. But the main one to focus on is when you're dividing. That'll say find the functions f plus g, f minus g, f of f times g, and f divided by g, and their domains. Okay, that just means what are the x values. So if they tell you to find f plus g of x, that means to leave your answer in terms of x. So if I'm going to add x minus plus the square root of x, that's all I can do. I'm just combining those terms. If I had like terms, and I'll show you this in a second when we go on to different problems, I have to put in a number and then combine like terms. But when they tell you to leave it in terms of x, that's all they're saying to do is just combine as much as you can. Now, if they asked us to add those two and then plug in 4, like they do here, you would combine them like this, and then you would say, okay, 1 over 4 minus 2 plus the square root of 4. I'd plug in my 4 where I see the x's. So this would become 1/2 plus 2, and my answer would be 2.5. Does that make sense? You have two domain restrictions. What can this denominator, what number can x not be?
2.
2. Why?
Because it can't be 0.
Right. If you plug 2 in here, this would become 0. So x cannot be 2 in that case. What can this x not be? It's got to be greater than what? It's got to be greater than or equal to. Can you take the square root of a negative number? No. So it's got to be greater than or equal to 0. You guys got to be aware of those things. What time is this class over? 10? Okay, we got time. You have to be aware of those things. I will sign, 4 with you guys right now. We're going to do these together, and then I'm going to let you go. All right, what is the first question asking you to do? Add, subtract, multiply, or divide. Add. They're telling you to first take the f function, which is negative 2x plus 3, and add it to the g function, which is 1 over x plus 4. Now you look to see, can you combine like terms? Can you add negative 2x and 3? No. Can you add negative 2x and 1 over x plus 4? No. There's nothing else you can do here to combine like terms. But they're telling you not to leave it in terms of x. They're telling you once you combine them all, what should you do with that negative 3? Plug it in everywhere you see an x. So you would say, okay, negative 2 times negative 3 plus 1 over negative 3 plus 4. What is negative 2 times negative 3? Positive 6. And what's 6 plus 3? 9. Then if I say negative 3 plus 1, what does that give me? 1. So 1 over 1 is what? So 9 plus 1 is 10. So when you evaluate f plus g of negative 3, you combine the two functions together and then plug in whatever number they're asking you to plug in. If it's just an x there, then all you do is just combine like terms like you can. It's a two-step process. Look at the second one. Okay, this one's a little tricky. You guys got to be really careful with division and subtraction. What does the second example say? What does the second example right here say? Read it.
G minus F.
G minus F. You have to write it in that order. Here is my G function minus my F function. Put everything in parentheses so it's easy to see. Before I can say, oh, can I combine like terms or anything like that, guys, what do I have to do with this negative sign that's out in front? I have to distribute it. Before you plug in numbers or anything like that, you have to make sure that all your negatives and everything are distributed. So this becomes 1 over x plus 4. What's a negative and a negative? Plus 2x minus 3. Do you guys see that? If you didn't distribute that negative, then this problem would be wrong. Now that you have it distributed, can I combine any like terms? Can I add 1 over x plus 4 plus 2x and say that it equals something? No. So now I can just plug in the number that they're asking me to. What do they want me to replace all the x's with? Negative 1. So I'm going to say 1 over negative 1 plus 4 plus 2 times negative 1 minus 3. So this gives me 1 over 3, right? Minus 2 minus 3. Well, now we have fractions. What's a common denominator between 3, 1, and 1? 3. So if I change this to 3, 1 times 3 is 3, so 2 times 3 is 6. If I change this to 3, 1 times 3 is 3, so 3 times 3 is 9. So now just work left to right. What's 1 minus 6? Negative 5 minus 9 gives me negative 14. Questions? You guys okay? All right, multiplication and division gets a little different. If I multiply f times g, we'll write down your f function, negative 2x plus 3 times my g function, 1 over x plus 4. Can I multiply these two things together? Yeah. This becomes negative 2x plus 3 over x plus 4. Good. Now that's the most I can combine it. I can't cross out x's or anything like that. So what do I want to do now with the 5? I want to plug it in here. So what's negative 2 times 5? Yes, ma'am. Negative 10 plus 3 over 5 plus 4 is 9. What's negative 10 plus 3? Negative 7 over 9. And there's your answer. What's the last one say? F what? F over G. So F divided by G. So that means F goes on top. Where's my F function? Over my G function is 1 over x plus 4. Guys, we're dividing fractions here. How do you divide fractions? What's the rule for dividing fractions? You're going to keep, change, flip. So I'm going to keep negative 2x plus 3. So negative 2x plus 3. I'm going to change division to multiplication, and then when I flip 1 over x plus 4, what does it become? X plus 4 over 1. Can I combine these anymore? Yeah. What can we do with these two? Can we FOIL? Yeah.
Yeah.
What's negative 2x times x? Negative 2x squared. Negative 2x times 4 is negative 8x. 3 times x is 3x. And 3 times 4 is 12. Can I combine anything else? Negative 8 and 3, good. So this is negative 2x squared minus 5x plus 12. Now that everything is all completely simplified, we're good to go. We have divided successfully f divided by g. What are they asking me to do with the 2? What are they asking me to do with that 2? I'm going to plug it in. Everywhere I see what? An x. So this becomes negative 2 times 2 squared minus 5 times 2 plus 12. And now we just simplify. 2 squared is 4, and negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. Negative 5 times 2 is negative 10 plus 12. Negative 8, negative 10 is negative 18 plus 12. So that becomes what? Negative 6. Good. So if they give you a number, if it says f plus g of negative 3, that means combine the two functions however they're asking you to, add, subtract, multiply, or divide, and then plug in that number. If they say f minus g of x, all they want you to do is combine those two functions and leave the x's where they are. They're not asking you to plug in an extra x or anything like that. That just means leave your answers in terms of x, is what that's saying. You guys got me? Okay, so